Gotta treat every move made like the final. One by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Ay, look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since I old. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out, they flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Get it, don't mindset. Ay, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Ay, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Ay, best keep distance, all of my haters send best of wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no I don't need no assistance. No, yeah, no playing it safe. I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say? If you ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Got no time to waste. Can't be with me if you're not at my pace. You're not at my level, you're not in my race. One foot on the gas, I'm pushing the brakes. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah. Get it, don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset.
Green flag racing in round 3 of the ISOWC. And we're going to have another caution, surely. Everyone is down this time around, Lewis. We are back on the same strategy. 5 cars with a chance of victory.
Here we go, Valtteri Landon's going to look to the inside. We're going to go 3 wide.
Chins up into the wall, or it's a drag race to the line, or is it... The NTT IndyCar Series rolls on as it heads to Lexington, Ohio to continue the 2021 championship. Here on a Monday night, live on RaceSpotTV, racers from across the globe do the same in the iRacing IndyCar Open Championship. Delighted you can join us for the first race of a new week and the championship race in round 3 of this 12-race season. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, delighted to be back in the commentary booth alongside my teammate Wilson Nadeau. TV cameras provided to us by Istvan Ballo and TrackCams22.com with additional car cameras designed by RaceSpot's own Tyler Maxson. You can follow along with live timing and scoring by heading to RaceSpot.tv/Indy, powered by our friends at ATVO. Wilson, it's been an exciting start to this championship so far. 2 races done, 1 oval, 1 road course. We head to Mid-Ohio where the real-world drivers will be in action today, and this really is a roller coaster of a track.
Indeed it is. Arjuna, good evening to you and everyone else watching tonight's race here with us at RaceSpotTV. Yeah, to be honest with you, it's one of my favorite road tracks. I like this track so much, and it's so challenging. So, as you have mentioned, it's a roller coaster. The last sector is pretty challenging, but at the same time, it's so cool. You have to keep yourself concentrated all the race long. Otherwise, a small mistake can put you in the grass or even in the wall. So yeah, really looking forward for tonight's race. Is an exciting strategy. Pretty much a one-stop strategy for tonight's race, and really excited to see what those guys will be able to show for us tonight.
Some of these drivers were in action last night in the Indy Elite Series. That really was a slobber knocker of a race. So many cars off the road. We'll be hoping here today not to see the same levels of attrition that plagued last night's race. Let's take a look at the championship standings, and while Adam Blocker sits in 3rd, his quest for another championship here on the iRacing official service has to go through a bit of a challenge. Adam Crane has had a wonderful start to the season so far, Wilson, but after last week where there were some tempers flaring, some contact coming on to the white flag lap, he now leads by almost 70 points from Hugo Olsen.
Yeah, things are getting very interesting, Arjuna. Early in the season, Adam Crane is with a good scoring points in the couple races in the start of the season. And well, I'm pretty sure that Adam Blocker and other drivers as well will keep pushing hard, you know, throughout the remaining weeks, especially Blocker to defend his title. So it will be pretty much interesting to see. Not only to mention that we have a lot of different tracks this season, like Hockenheim Ring. So yeah, really cool season ahead of us, and I hope we keep the momentum and such a good race, because for the first 2 rounds there was a good race on track and so good action, and we really look forward to keep that going.
Some other names to watch out for. Look at that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. 2 points separating 3 drivers, and Glenix Van der Sant Harrington. Don't think Harrington's in action today. He said he doesn't even own this track, and I think that's something he'll have to change in the next couple of weeks, if you ask me. Take a look at this track, Wilson. This kind of layout doesn't really indicate the main challenge here in Lexington, Ohio. That is the elevation change. That's especially important coming out of turn 9, the right-hand sweeper where you plunge down the hill trying to get the power down.
Yeah, and not only the track elevation, Arjuna, but I think one of the key here to be consistently fast throughout the run is to look after your front tires, you know, because tire locking here is always very critical, and not only to understand how the balance of the car will change throughout the run. So the braking points itself might vary a few inches, I would say even like 10 or 30 meters, depending on the fuel load and on the tire wear. So especially in turn 1, it's quite tricky to get that apex at the right point all the race long. So yeah, drivers will have to keep concentrated to do their best tonight.
And one of the greatest things, if you ask me, a lot of the time when we come to a track here on the iRacing service, we go faster than they go in the real world. But qualifying well and truly underway, it is the king of a Monday night, Adam Blocker, that sits at the top of the timing sheet, a 106.158. The lap record, well, the official one at least, Will Power back in 2016, a 105.260. But the stat that really made me amazed, Wilson, was the unofficial lap record set by Simon Pagenaud in a champ car, so of course dating back now over a decade, a 1:03.870. We are 3 seconds slower than they go here in the real world.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that even being 3 seconds slower, the challenge is real, and it will be quite tricky for everybody in the race tonight to keep doing the clean race. Even a small off track can cost you a higher price. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what kind of battles we have. We see tonight, you know, the push to pass and the strategy. Fuel strategy itself will not be important. However, the undercut can be really, really strong here, especially because they will have like 22 or 23 laps on their tires by the end of their run. So if a driver finds himself really, really close to the car ahead of him, he can try to manage an undercut in his pit stall, and yeah, there we will see it, because the lap time difference will be huge, and so that's a very interesting thing for us to keep looking during the race, how that pit stop strategy will work during the race.
We're taking a look at Adam Crane, who was on the fuel-saving strategy last night. A bit of a wiggle coming through the carousel. What will the time be? He's 11th right now. Across the line he goes, and does improve up into third. That will be crucial. It is Blocker and Bennett, an all-power slide front row. I tell you what, with qualifying coming to a close, let's cue up the most famous song in all of esports and go trackside here in mid-Ohio to take a look at our starting grid in round 3 of this championship. So it is Adam Blocker searching for another championship, a 106.158 pole position by over a quarter of a second from his teammate Henry Bennett for Powerslide Motorsport. Satellite Racing's Adam Crane inside of Isaac Morris. Wonderful qualifying performance for him, with Graham Saunders, ISO WC competitor, crashed out of Long Beach with some drama in towards turn number 1. He'll be inside of Alexander Van der Sant. He'll be doing double duty. The Lionheart Speedway Series heading to Kentucky right after this. Phil Kraus back from a holiday, 7th on the grid, alongside Maxwell Brown, with Andreas Ike inside of his teammate Liam Quinn on the edge of the top 10. Rashad Craig, Austin Espety on row 6, with Andrew Marquez and John Bodeford also representing the Geodesic Racing team, row 7. Nagisa Yoshikawa 15th, with Charles Eric Lemelins 16th. Chris Wilhite, great to see him on the road courses here on a Monday night. He's just about squeaked in to our field, the 20th rated car out of 20. He sits in 17th position, 2 seconds off the pace. Robin Glennox in 18th, battle for 3rd in the championship. He'll be looking for some attrition in today's action. Andrew Wood, Jacob Oster bringing up our 20-car field. It's always an interesting start here, Wilson, but unlike what we do in the real world, here we will start through the start-finish line. When they come here in just a couple of days' time, they'll be starting on the back straightaway. Yeah,
that's an advantage here in the simulator, so they can get a shortcut, you know, or it's not really necessary to do the entire outlap. So yeah, pretty good things to see here, because at least for the driver's standpoint, the race starts earlier, so and you can start putting the show up in the air. So yeah, it's pretty good to see.
Here we go then. It is 46 laps on the agenda, 1 pit stop, with a rather big fuel window for drivers to take advantage. Adam Crane leading the championship. He sits behind his main title rival. We come through the carousel. 20 Indy cars ready to rumble. The green flag is out. Already Blocker with the jump. He's left his teammate to defend from Crane in towards turn number 1. Side by side for 6th on back as it's Phil Kraus trying to get past Alexander Van der Sant. There's a car off into the cones. It's Crane up into 2nd. Watch as Isaac Morris tries to follow him around the outside. Already Blocker is 0.8 of a second clear. Here we come onto the back straightaway and down in towards turn number 4.
Yeah, very tricky corner 1 for Henry Bennett. He kind of did a break late and went wide a little bit, and Crane was able to get the position from the British driver.
Look at Graham Saunders down the inside of Isaac Morris. There's all sorts of shuffling. Phil Kraus has bundled Alexander Van der Sant down in towards 8th position. There's more side-by-side action further back in the pack. This is an exceptionally clean lap number 1. Just as I say that, you see there's a car with some damage to the front wing. That will affect them, especially coming through here, Wilson, where you might not think aerodynamics is important, but it really upsets the balance of the car.
Yeah, it upsets the balance, of course, and I think it's kind of a John Bottefeu. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's probably a French last name. Yeah, but he probably is heading his car to pit stall to change his front wing, because even in such a track like this, the front wing is crucial for good lap times.
I believe his name is John Bodefort, and it's very possible I'm butchering his name as well. He's teammates with Graham Sanders, so Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing, there's one car in the top 5, there's one car bringing up the tail end of the field. Lap 1 in the books, Adam Crane back on to the push-to-pass button. He's already used 2 of his 10 allotments here, trying to close the gap to the race leader in front. Fuel saving was the name of the game yesterday, Lorenzo, in the Indy Elite Series. Not going to be the case today. You were talking about the fuel window anywhere between 22 to 24 laps.
Yeah, so if we think like if Adam Crane is able to get on Adam Blocker's draft by the time of he needs to do his pit stop, maybe he can try an undercut, Arjuna, because the fuel here, a full tank run will last like 24, maybe 25 laps with a little bit of fuel saving. But there's no reason to fuel save here, because there's a big fuel window, so they just have to full send it and use as much as they can. So that's why the undercut might be important here for guys like Henry or even Crane. So let's keep an eye on this strategy.
And you were saying, Wilson, when it comes to your preference as a driver, you would much rather prefer to be doing the full-out, you know, pedal to the metal rather than fuel saving. Why is that, especially here in the IndyCar? Because you have the fuel maps that can help you out, but it's still very difficult to do the savings you need here.
Yeah, I like those kind of race with big windows, you know, Arjuna, because you can try to do a short stint early on the race, or you can try to, according to the track position you find yourself, you can play with the strategy in your benefit, you know. So if you get stuck in behind a slower car, you can try a different strategy. So it brings more excitement to the driver, not only to the driver on the track, but also for those watching the race, and even for us commentating the race, because we need to do a good reading on what's going on the track and try to bring that emotion to everybody watching the race.
Bit of a team talent train forming here. Phil Kraus about a second behind Isaac Morris in 5th as Andreas Eich slides off the track there. He'll tumble down out of the top 10, just running a bit wide, and there's a car stationary. That's Alexander Van der Stant. We will go straight to the RaceSpotTV replay machine and try and pick up what happened there. So here we go. You first take a look at Eich. Van der Stant, who loses it by himself, and Eich does a great job there, Wilson, to get off the track and rejoin quite safely.
Yeah, and that corner is so tricky, Arjuna, because you have such a weight transfer out of the blue, and Alex Van der Stant was not able. Yeah, right there, he out of carousel when the car weight was strengthening. He was not able to catch it. Here he ended the car and end up spinning. Yeah, unfortunate for him.
So that will be the end of the day for him, at least here in the iRacing IndyCar Open Championship. He'll head to Kentucky next to continue his Lionheart Speedway Series campaign in 2021. The gaps are starting to build at the front of the field. 6/10 between Crane and Blocker out front. Henry Bennett a further 1.2 adrift, with Sanders equal distance to Bennett from the cars in front. There you see Isaac Morris. A very impressive qualifying performance for him, with Phil Kraus chasing him down. Must be nice and refreshed after a little bit of a break. For team talent, like I was saying just before Van der Stant lost the car, you saw a train of Eich, Quinn and Espety. All those cars now in the top 10, with Andrew Wood, one of the biggest movers on the day, not setting a qualifying time. He's now at 5 positions, Wilson, into the top 15.
Yeah, very interesting to see the team talent guys. We know they have a huge partnership, and here comes the other guys to overtake. Let's see.
That's Wood is trying to look to the inside of Marquez. He gets squeezed, gets loose, opens the door to Jacob Oster to try and sling it down the inside. There you can see behind them, that's, I believe, Alexander Van der Stant, who has managed to roll himself back out onto track. So great to see the number 15 car looking to try and secure some championship points as we jump on board with the 12 here through Thunder Valley into the penultimate couple of corners. It's such a fun experience here, and I really cannot wait, Wilson, for the action this weekend, because the 2021 NTT IndyCar Series has been wild. I mean, no repeat winners until very recently, and this is a track that always delivers a show when we visit it.
Yeah, so am I, Arjuna. Really looking forward to see that action and everybody on track doing their best. And at first, I didn't recognize the Andrew Woods livery because he usually is with a brown livery, but I didn't recognize Andrew Woods' new paint scheme for tonight's race. But yeah, he's doing a great job as well. And let's see how many positions he can get by the end of the race.
Must say, Crane is doing a wonderful job to really harangue the back of Blocker at this point in time. Just half a second between the two of them. And given the pace discrepancy that we saw last night, especially on the fuel saving, maybe just an indication that, just like you, Wilson, Adam Crane does prefer to do the pedal to the metal approach. I also see fourth place in the championship, Robin Glennox has had a bit of an off down into China Beach, locks up the inside front. He goes for a bit of a ride. He's fortunate to be able to rejoin the track without any sort of major difficulties. I mean, you think back to last year and when the Indy cars came here, it was Santino Ferrucci bundled off the road by Colton Herder, rejoining back into the path of a number of cars, and all sorts of chaos ensues. Let's take a look at the weather conditions at this point in time. 28 degrees in the air, but only 38 degrees in terms of track temperature. Look in the background, though. There's Phil Kraus down the inside of Isaac Morris.
Yeah, here comes Kraus on the move. Very nice move by Kraus.
Inside line, usually you want to try and stick on the inside for the next part of the corner, but Morris had nothing to defend with that point in time. Maybe also wondering if he's just saving his tires, because it is a rather long window. Even though the track temperatures are cool, Wilson, it is going to be important to keep these red mark tires underneath you.
Yeah, we know how bad the tire drop off on those red tires are, so they must keep preventing front lock tire, otherwise they will have a huge understeer later on the stint. Even try to compensate doing by some trail brake to compensate. That is not the easiest thing to do, but yeah, Kraus is trying to do his best here, gaining a few spots, and hopefully he can get to the fight and get closer the gap from Graham Sanders as well, and get his tool.
In terms of the track conditions, it's not just relatively cool, but the wind, 26 kilometers an hour. That will be gusting across the track and making life very difficult for the drivers. Just behind, you can see Liam Quinn, Maxwell Brown. They're both on the bottom. There's some miscommunication. They managed to make it work, but that was close for a moment. I think Liam Quinn wants to get on past the number 14 car here, Wilson, and try and close up to the cars in front.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to do this overtake, otherwise he might start losing some very important time that might cost him some important positions by the end of the race. So Liam is trying to push hard here over Maxwell Brown. Let's see how that will work.
In towards the final corner, this really is important. Van der Stant's already made one mistake through there, and just the way the track undulates, so much elevation change here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I must say, I don't necessarily think of sports cars when I think of Mid-Ohio, but of course, the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship does come here as well. They are one of the main attractions from Lexington, Ohio. Speaking of the IMSA competitions, double weekend of action for them. The 6 hours at the Glen just a couple of days ago. They'll return to the upstate New York track of Watkins Glen for a race in just a couple of days' time. Always great to have continued action. Quinn locks up the tires as he closes in on Brown once more. He must be getting frustrated. And at a track like this, Wilson, when it is relatively difficult to pass, you have, if you ask me, two major opportunities down into turn 2 and down into turn 4. For Quinn, he's just got to be patient until that moment presents itself.
Yeah, and I know how that feels, Arjuna, because a couple of years ago, when we still ran the W12, I did a broadcast race here in a Friday, and I got stuck behind the car. I had a good start, but just almost spun in last few positions. So I had the pace, but it was not easy to overtake, to get those positions back. And yeah, it was a bit frustrating, so I had to be patient and to work my way to the grid and find the good spot to overtake.
Oh, that's a lot of damage to Glennox in the championship. Let's see what's happened to Michigan's own. Queuing up the RaceSpotTV replay here. And it is, I believe, in towards Thunder Valley. There you can see the initial right-hander that brings you towards turn 9. Down the hill he plunges. Rear end steps out. He's hard into the wall there.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest corner it is on the track, because the rear end of the car gets so light when you're right here at this moment here. If you get very aggressive on the throttle, you get rear wheel spin and ending up in the wall and end of the race by Rob, unfortunately.
He's still trying to limp that car home. Full credit to him. I think he knows that if he can get some sort of championship points here, with this probably being one of the bigger races we'll get over the course of the week, kills a cone for good measure. Let's see if he'll be able to roll his car back out onto track. As we rejoin the live coverage, it does look as though, as Liam Quinn comes across the start-finish line in 7th, he's gotten past Maxwell Brown. He's going to be looking in his rear-view mirrors for Austin Espety to come on through as well. Oh, Espety with a wonderful run through turn 1. Here comes the move to the outside in towards turn 2. They are side by side. It's going to be a tighter line taken by Maxwell Brown. Gets the power down nicely, but Espety roars around the outside. He's up into 8th position.
Yeah, Maxwell had a bit of an issue on turn 1. He just clipped the inside curb and had to control his car, so he lost a bit of time. Austin did a very good job going around him on the outside and get the position from him.
I think at the same time Andrew Wood has done the same thing to Charles-Eric Lemelin, so let's go and take a look at how Woodeth has got himself up into 12th. Oh no, he's gone inside. That's a bit more aggressive. And how is he going to take this corner? You saw Brown much more tight to the apex. Wood kind of rolling himself wide and onto the power. Lemelin not really fighting it too hard. Back to live coverage. We're already on lap 12. The gap out front has extended. Blocker is now clear by almost 2 seconds, and Henry Bennett is being brought back into this fight for 2nd position.
Yeah, Crane did a very, very good start of the race, being able to keep on Blocker's draft for like 7 or 8 laps. But seems now that he's struggling a little bit of pace with his tires, and Blocker is able to build that gap. Let's see how that will work by the end of the race for Crane right here.
So about halfway through the fuel window, and you can see some big gaps are starting to emerge. Andreas Eich is on to the push to pass as he tries to close on a regular here on a Monday night, Richard Craig. This is for 10th position. Eich does not consider himself the strongest of drivers on the road. Of course, took victory in dramatic, I think that's the right word for it, fashion from the Auto Club Speedway in round 3 of the ISOWC. Has now carried some momentum forward into Long Beach, carrying it even more forward. He's been so consistent in this 2021 Indy Elite Series so far, and in the championship picture. I mean, at the end of the day, Wilson, it's not about winning races that, you know, every so often. It's consistent top 5 finishes that wins you championships.
Yeah, especially when we think about how different tracks are in the season, throughout the season. You know, Arjuna, oval road tracks, street courses. We have Formula 1 tracks. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the way that the season goes. And we have another car spinning out of carousel.
Yeah, not the first time, you're right. And that's Lemelin, who then runs wide into turn 1. Let's go see what happened here. Bundled down into 8th position, 13th position by Andrew Wood. Looks okay through the first part of the corner, just a bit wide. Car is already pirouetting on him, and fortunately, oh, Andrew Marquez just about squeaks on through. I think we need to go take a look at the onboard there for the Loose Nut Racing car, the 10. Jump on board with the roll bar and take a look at this one, Wilson.
Yeah, that was closer, Arjuna, especially because he was probably not able to see much with that amount of smoke ahead of him. Yeah, but he managed to turn to the left and dodge that wreck really well.
Must say, the new smoke does a great job of blinding you, but it's also not exactly what you want to be seeing when you come across danger like that. It was not just Marquez, but Jacob Oster that squeaked on through as well. In terms of movers and shakers, Oster has been quite impressive. 6 positions up after not setting a qualifying time and starting at the tail end of the field. Andrew Wood, though, the biggest mover, 7 positions gained. Still a long way to go for him as he closes on his teammate in 11th. They're both hunting down Richard Craig. You can see there are some big gaps starting to open here. And really, it's going to be the fuel window that is going to be so important. You can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, the traffic is not necessarily going to be a consideration in terms of complete green flag running. But when you get cars on different strategies, Wilson, it's important to make sure you find clean air at the right time.
Yeah, that's right, Arjuna. This track is one of those kind of tracks that you rarely can see people trying so different strategy because due to the traffic, even if you have fresh tires, you lose so much time on traffic, even if you are just behind the lapped car or so. So yeah, I think that even for tonight's race, the strategy will pretty much be the same to everyone. So they probably will try what Henry's probably trying to do right now, getting closer to Adam Crane. And let's see if Henry can work some kind of undercut ahead of over Crane in his pit stop.
Left side of the screen, you can see the push-to-pass usages so far. Both the power slide drivers have been reluctant to get on the button. You can see the likes of Kraus, Quinn, Wood, the Team Talent trio, a bit more aggressive with 3 of their 10 usages so far. I must say, we've had a lot of great updates over the recent past. Here, as I see, Austin Espety has gone and passed his teammate Liam Quinn, so that charge from Espety continues. But it's a car that's undergone so many changes recently, Wilson. You've got the new tire model, you've got the new damage model, things like the head bobble, you know, fuel maps coming into effect. The one thing that I still really want to see, you know, updated and modernized here on the IR18 is the push-to-pass system. Instead of 10 usages like we have here, we should have a seconds-based system like they use in the real world.
Yeah, I think it will be pretty interesting to see iRacing implementing the real push-to-pass as they use in the real life, because that will add a lot of different strategies into the race, because you can use the in different part of the tracks. So yeah, I think it will be interesting to see. Hopefully iRacing can implement that as soon as they can.
Hopefully iRacing's listening to us right now. I'm sure that's what they're doing. I tell you what, while we're looking rearwards from Richard Craig, Andreas Ike is onto the button. Down now to 7 usages left. Can he get close enough? I don't think he will be alongside, heading in towards the braking zone of turn 4 at China Beach. Closes under the brakes, but not close enough to challenge Craig. Nose to the inside, but really that's not a place to make a pass. He does force the car in front slightly wide, but he will tuck into line and wait for his next opportunity. I saw John Bodefort back down onto pit road. And what's happened to another driver that appears to be from Michigan? He slides his car off the track at the final corner. Must be an agonizing roll there as he just locks up, I think, Wilson, and deep into the tire barrier.
Yeah, he had a bit of an issue locking up his front tires, getting into the carousel, and basically he had no way out, because once you're in the grass, the car has no grip. He just went straight to the wall, and pretty bad for him, unfortunately. Let's see if he can fix somehow that, maybe some of the front ring or the front suspension. But yeah, his race is gone for today.
Espety on the button as he tries to run away from his teammate and close the 7-second gap in front of him. Richard Craig, it's not just push to pass, it's push to defend as well. The 13 on the button, 70 horsepower extra, pushing him down that straightaway in towards the braking zone. He will hang on to his 10th position, but it's not just Ike he'll be looking out for in his rearview mirrors. It's Andrew Wood, who's starting to just work his way patiently through the field. And as we jump on board with the 12 car here, I wonder how aggressive he's going to be here, Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's trying to reduce the gap to Andreas Ike. His teammate and probably try some move, because he has a good pace today, already gained 7 spots, and he's looking for more positions. So yeah, pretty interesting action we are about to see here.
Ike, of course, didn't make a mistake. He had to run wide, avoiding Van de Sant's mistake in front of him. A little bit of a wiggle through the final corner, a little bit of a wiggle through the first corner for the 6th, with his teammate lurking in the background. Here we go. I think this is going to be an important exit for Craig. He runs a little bit wide. Does Ike get the power down nicely? I don't think he did. I think Ike's going to have to look now for his teammate to try and move. Here we go. Is something going to happen here? Ike's close enough, you know, to the inside, deep under the brakes, and Richard Craig does not fight that one too hard. Woodith will follow him through very soon here, Wilson.
Yeah, Wood tried the move as well, but there's no room. There was not room for him to do the move, but yeah, pretty sure he'll try in the next corners. And Richard Craig is also doing a very safe race. You know, we were able to see that he didn't try to defend the inside line, just break a little bit earlier and let the Team Talent car of Andreas Ike go by. And pretty much sure that he's thinking to get by the end of the race, so which is good for him. And let's see how Wood can work now to get that position as well.
So here we go through turn 1. Down a gear, onto the power, nice and early. Can he get it done into turn 2? He'll look to the inside. I don't think Craig will fancy fighting this one either. It's now Team Talent working their way up towards the top 10. Have Phil Kraus, the highest of their drivers, in 5th. Austin Espety 7th. Liam Quinn behind him in 8th. Now Andreas Ike, Andrew Wood 10th and 11th position. We started with 20 cars, down to just 18 out there and circulating. John Bodefer and Robin Glennox, the 2 cars that would appear to be done for the day. Of course, we saw Bodefer sliding his way into the tire barrier in the final corner. Second incident for him in today's action. Phil Kraus has been closing on the back of Graham Saunders, but Saunders has responded. In the background, Isaac Morris has lost it by himself.
Yeah. Just another victim of turn 13. Arjuna, the same way. We have seen a couple drivers spinning in the same corner.
It's a bit of an odd one, if you ask me, Wilson. We'll jump on board with the 11 car here and just watch for the hands as the weight just kind of shifts a little bit too quickly for him.
Yeah, I think he sometimes, you know, especially when you're on tires, we try to short shift a little bit on that corner exit, or even you try to increase the, running closer to the curb and keep your wheel straight forward. Otherwise, you can have rear wheel spin and ending up spinning like we have seen a couple of times tonight.
Seems to be the biggest problem zone, and deja vu once more. Isaac Morris, wonderful qualifying performance outside of row number 2. Now finds himself looking in the rearview mirrors for Liam Quinn to try and maybe steal 7th position from him. Almost into the pit window, and the gap out front is now 5 full seconds. Adam Blocker, in his quest to try and hunt down Crane in the lead of the championship, is looking quite comfortable. I see Rashard Craig is off the road as well. This is through just before Thunder Valley, so an unusual place to have a car go off. Straight to the RaceSpotTV replay we go, Wilson.
Yeah, he just lost his rear end. I think he managed to control his car and not hit anything. So yeah, the car is pretty much intact. But yeah, I think Arjuna, what the drivers are facing right now, the main issue is the wear of their tires, and you can see that whenever we have a corner with a huge weight transfer, you get the car unsettled, and we are seeing some cars spinning. So that's the main challenge for them right now.
And what can you do, Wilson, to try and preserve the life of the tire, other than, of course, you know, adapting your driving style? But in terms of setup, what are some of the crucial things that you'll be looking at to try and just ensure you don't heat up and burn up your tires? As Andrew Wood, 2 wheels off into the grass, holds on, now has to do all that hard work over again.
Well, Arjuna, at least, of course, it's a matter of driver preference, but I can say about, because I've been doing some tests in this track here this week, and according to my test, I was playing basically with the front bar, you know, starting the stint with a softer front bar like 4 or 3, and then bringing that front bar up to maybe 4, 6 or 5. But also you can play. I was playing with the brake bias. You know, you can change the brake bias for certain corners, because you can afford to be more aggressive on brake bias and more conservative in other kind of corners. So all those kind of very subtle difference sometimes that can help you a lot to get your tires in the best shape by the end of the run.
That's a very good point. It's not just an open setup series, but this IR18 allows the 8-car tools that really allow the driver to really adapt, not just to the changing conditions, but to the car itself. Blocker across the line, almost halfway through the race. Would expect pit stops imminently, as I believe Phil Kraus is the first to blink. The Team Talent driver makes his way onto pit road. Slightly early here, but not necessarily such a disadvantaged thing. You were talking about different strategies in a slightly bigger window here. How do you think it will work out? Is Austin Espety down as well?
Yeah, Arjuna, lap 22 is pretty much when the window opens, so the drivers can do 24 laps very comfortably. So Kraus and Espety, they're probably thinking of jumping ahead the car ahead of him, so probably trying to go for an undercut. I was thinking that probably Henry Bennett was going to try that ahead of Adam Crane as well, but he didn't. Let's see if he will be beaten by this lap or so, because that might be some interesting moves going on the track at this moment of the race.
You can see once more, bottom right corner of the screen, where the cars are out on track. The 6 of Andreas Eich is rolling himself up to racing speed once more as Adam Blocker comes through the final corner. He'll extend. He is a very good fuel saver. Former right-hand braker Adam Crane and Graham Saunders onto the lane. It's Henry Bennett staying out, trying the overcut then.
Yeah, let's see how that can work. Maybe for Henry, he can try to spam a bit of his push to pass he has left. But yeah, not sure if it was the best call, but it's early to say. Let's see how that will work for Henry after the pit round.
Bennett did indeed use one of those push to passes, used the second, so used one in the short run between turns 1 and 2, now using it down that back straightaway. What's going to happen here on the merge? Saunders just in front of Maxwell Brown. He'll now have to look and try and defend. He wants to try and stick as close to Crane. It's only 1 second between Saunders and Crane, and of course this is the battle for net second position. You can see pit road is a very busy place. Andrew Marquez, Jacob Oster, Charles-Eric Lemelin down onto the pit road as Andrew Wood using a push to pass. The only Team Talent driver, other than Liam Quinn, who sits up there in 4th, who have not come down onto the pit road just yet. Adam Blocker, I was talking about his fuel-saving capabilities. He's still out there, but here comes Henry Bennett. This is important to maximize your pit entry here, Wilson.
Yeah, that's the important lap and pit strategy for Henry. Let's see how good he can do his pit job here and see if he can get back to the track ahead or behind Adam Crane. Let's see. Really looking forward to see if that will work for him, because he used I think 2 push to pass in his last lap, and that might work as well. Let's see.
So there's Crane down pit road. Bennett's already off the jack, 7.9 stationary. It's not going to be close enough, and I tell you what, it was almost 7/10 shorter in the pit road, and interesting to see that Crane was able to get those tires up to the operating window in a very quick fashion. Bennett is now going to have to look behind because Saunders will be in that same situation. Like I said earlier, it's push to defend as well. Henry Bennett on the button.
Yeah, it won't be easy for Henry in this out lap, because it's when your tire is getting to the ideal temperature, so it won't be easy for him to try some move. Maybe in 1 or 2 laps when Henry gets that prime tire temperature and the best lap of his tires, maybe he can have a chance again of Crane. But yeah, didn't work for him, but he's still on the fight.
So Liam Quinn as well as Adam Blocker yet to come down onto pit road. For Adam Blocker, is he still out there on track? He's coming through turn 2. He's extended this race to lap 26. That is remarkable. And like I was saying, a former right foot braker. He's carried that over now that he's got some new pedals to left foot braking. King of chins for Team Talent, known for being a prodigious fuel saver. Adam Blocker is as well.
Yeah, and it's impressive to see. Oh, another car is spinning.
Oh, Alexander Van der Sande off the track, second time. Oh, it's the same corner, I believe, coming through the carousel. Let's see what's happened here on the RaceSpotTV replay, Wilson.
Yeah, it wasn't the same corner, just different right now. This time, yeah, it was a bit earlier than before. It was not in the middle of the corner. It was when he was about to get into the last corner. But it seems pretty much the same issue. You know, when he tried to find grip, there was no rear grip, and the car just spun.
He's quite late in his window as well, having been out there on track for 22 laps or so. Interesting to see Nagisa Yoshikawa and Rashad Craig get to come down onto the pit road. Craig's on the button and getting past the Japanese driver into the 9th position as Adam Blocker uses the first of his push to passes. He's still out there on track. This is an amazing run. He's extending the gap to Adam Crane as well. Liam Quinn is down. I wonder what magic fuel growing tree Adam Blocker has in his fuel tank.
Yeah, impressive to see what Blocker is doing, because I thought that maybe 26 laps fuel saving was doable, but not 27. Yeah, he's impressive, because we know that he's not a trail breaker the same way I am, so there's an advantage for him when I compare my driving style with his style. So yeah, pretty good job for Blocker today, and let's see, maybe he pits this window. It's time by.
It's a 4-way fight for second. Phil Kraus is close onto Graham Saunders. Looks to the inside as Bennett, Saunders, and Kraus all on the button. Coming down into China Beach. Over-under from Kraus attempted. This is heating up, and if anything, it's allowing Adam Crane just a little bit less pressure. He's now 1.2 clear of Henry Bennett.
Yeah, very interesting action here going on between Kraus and Sanders. The undercut didn't work very well for Kraus. We saw him pitting one lap earlier than Sanders, but Sanders did a great job as well and was able to keep his position.
Blocker rolling himself off of pit road. He has got no sort of challenge. Bottom right portion of the screen, you can see he's already working his way in towards turn number 2 as second through fourth flying their way and filtering their way down turn 1. Crane is now almost 2 full seconds clear. If he can continue to extend that advantage, he will be starting to feel somewhat comfortable. Wonderful aerial shots brought to us by ATVO, the graphical partner here at RaceSpotTV, as Sanders onto the button. He's got 5 usages remaining, and of course, not just the fact that you have to conserve the push-to-passes to be able to use them at the right window, but it's also about the fuel saving here for Phil Kraus. He's got 4 usages left, but who knows how much fuel he put into that car, Wilson?
Yeah, because he did actually a very good fast pit stop, considering he was one of the earliest to be in his pit stop. Honestly, I thought that probably Blocker was going to be able to do a faster pit stop, but I was checking his stop times and it wasn't the fastest ones. So yeah, Kraus has a very good challenge ahead of him. Pretty sure he's having fun trying to get those spots back.
Well, he was on holiday in Florida. He was complaining a little bit about the rain, but well, what do you really expect when you head to Florida, I guess, in the middle of the summer? Crane continues to look clear, but Kraus looking very, very feisty. You can see the pit stop times that Wilson was mentioning as Kraus gets back onto the button. Adam Blocker, maybe by virtue of draining that tank completely of fuel, has meant a slightly longer stop around the outside. Can Kraus make this stick? Sanders is going to make him fight for this, but wonderful move from the Team Talent driver. He moves himself up to 4th position.
Yeah, really very, very good move from Kraus. It's not the easiest things to go around on the outside of the corner, especially because if you brake a little bit too late, you get to the grass and get yourself killed.
Outside OP, Justin Hess is watching. Just reminding you, the outside line does work from time to time. I tell you what, let's jump on board with Phil Kraus for now. A little bit of wheel spin coming through the final corner. Let's run around this 2.5 mile circuit and take in the 13 turns. In through turn 1, all the way to the inside curb. Kraus doesn't go down a gear. Look at him manage to carry the revs up through the corner as well. Up the hill, you can brake slightly deeper into this turn 2 complex, but you'll see multiple lines. It's all about getting the power down onto this back straightaway and the run in towards China Beach. Technically, we've come out of turn 2. This is turn 3. Americans are a bit weird with their corner numbering. This is turn 4. Brake at the 200 on the left-hand side, all the way down to 2nd gear. Look at Kraus, slightly different line from Bennett in front, but it's all about just rolling yourself down into this next corner. So difficult to get the power down and work your way into the S's. We saw a mistake here before. Car is always just sliding around on you and in through the very crucial Thunder Valley. Bennett is feeling the pressure from Kraus. Penultimate corner coming up. It's a left-hand sweeper of turn 11. Don't want to run wide into the grass. That will compromise you all the way through this carousel here. Once more, it's about getting onto the power. Avoid the curb there. You can see quick hands from Kraus. It's a very quick lap time. What is it for Kraus? A 107.360. He is the fastest car on track right now, Wilson.
Yeah, indeed. Very, very nice lap from Kraus. Even on the dirty area of Henry Bennett, which sometimes can get you a bit of understeer, but yeah, he managed it pretty well all throughout the lap, and he's on the fight. Henry Bennett is not in the best situation right now. Probably is looking in his mirrors, and I'm pretty sure he's concerned with Kraus right behind him.
It's going to be weird this season. I got to be honest, Wilson. We've got not one member of Powerslide in the RaceSpotTV commentary booth anymore. We've got 2 of them. So we're always going to try and keep our biases under our hats. We're also going to try and avoid spilling too many secrets about Adam Blocker's lack of trail braking skills.
Yeah, indeed. It's a funny situation to see our teammates over there. But yeah, but when we are here in the cabin booth, we can't be biased. Of course, we always have good expectation and see a good fight on the track, regardless of who are winning or losing. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting to see the action of Kraus ahead of Bennett, even being our teammate. We want to see the action on track, Arjun. I'm pretty sure that it's what everybody else who is watching the race wants to see as well.
Adam Blocker is burning through his push-to-passes now. No concern of fuel. Not sure if you saw what he did the last time around. He's on the push-to-pass, so you're not going to see it. There he goes. A 107.024. That is 0.2 quicker than Phil Kraus, who's got the second fastest lap time. A Blocker is being released, and with 6 seconds the gap, no pressure behind, he can have whatever fun he wants here in Lexington, Ohio.
Yeah, and we see Blocker quite often doing that. I would say mostly when he has a comfortable gap in the lead of the race, we start spamming those push to pass to get the fastest lap of the race. So pretty interesting to see as well, the driving having fun and trying to nail those laps down, right, Arjuna?
And it's been a busy weekend. I mean, we've had how many different IndyCar races? Last Wednesday was the Lionheart 500 race for the pole. Then on Saturday, round 4 of the ISOWC. And then yesterday, it was a bumper day of IndyCar action. Started with the classic IndyCar series and their first Triple Crown event from the Richmond Raceway. Then some drivers, such as Joshua Chin, who won from the did not win. He should have won, if not for some rather dramatic pit strategy and caution timings. Then had to make his way over to the Brickyard for the Lionheart Indy 500. Followed up by that Indy Elite race at Mid-Ohio that we mentioned. So some of these drivers had to do double duty yesterday. Always busy, and well, if I remember correctly, there were some drivers that between the Indy Elite race and the Lionheart race, 245 laps of action over the course of the evening.
Yeah, that's why this car is so addictive, and you have the opportunity to run in such kind of different tracks and competitions at the same day and the same time mostly. So pretty interesting to see everybody doing their best in the different series and different kind of races.
It must mean that the preparation time is going to be so difficult. Sorry, Josh, the King of Chins has just popped into the YouTube chat. I apologize. My memory was slightly on the fritz there. He dominated in qualifying, dominated the early stages of the race, and if not for the way that the cautions cycled themselves out for the Team Chimera group, they were looking very, very strong. Rashad Craig, by the way, has gotten on past Jacob Oster as push-to-passes in effect once more. Henry Bennett and Graham Saunders on the button. They are coming up on some lap traffic as well. I wonder if this is going to mix up this battle for second position. Bennett now only 6/10 behind Crane.
Yeah, and Bennett had a bit of front lock tire on his right front tire, which is the tire that pretty much struggles the most here on this track, especially under braking, because we had a lot of right-hander corners, and the inside tire is the most who you can't afford to stop a car spinning.
Oh, yeah, that was Graham Saunders. We were talking about the difficulties through Thunder Valley. Graham Saunders has illustrated that perfectly for us. Charles-Eric Lemelin, another victim of the final turn. He'll have to wait up because the second place cars are coming on through there, you can see. Let's go ahead and take a look at those replays very quickly because, well, it was heating up second, third, fourth, and fifth. Graham Saunders drops a wheel, I think, into the grass potentially, or no, that car is already sideways coming through onto the curbing, Wilson.
Yeah, I think he got to the apex too fast, so in the moment he clipped the curb right here, right now, he just lost in ending up spinning. Nice control of the car, unfortunately for him, he just lost the pack.
Yeah, fortunate not to slide off into the tire barriers. That happened synchronized spinning the last time around, and for Charles-Eric Lemelin, oh, he blew his engine right in front of your race leader.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm not sure if he blew the engine or he was... Let's see again.
No, you definitely hear the engine expiring on him. That is a bizarre scene, and I wonder if maybe just previous damage there, Wilson, that accumulated and eventually just led to that IR-18 crying out in agony.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've never seen that happen with me before, but yeah, maybe he had some kind of damage and his engine's like overheated because maybe the air intake was not correctly working. So yeah, unfortunately for him, a blue engine here is not the most usual things you see, but they happen.
Ooh, here we go. This is going to be a drag race to the braking zone of turn 4. Kraus looked to the outside as Bennett defended the middle of the track. He's in the draft. Neither of them on the button. Here we go. This is when Kraus needs to get past if he wants to fight for second. Bennett pulls to the outside. He's not going to fight that one. Phil Kraus, 4 positions up on the day. He's now in a podium position.
Yeah, very nice move by Kraus. Bennett just was struggling a little bit out of turn 2 and didn't even try to defend. I think Henry is just trying to bring the car home at this moment of the race. He has 3 push to passes while Kraus has only 1 left, so maybe Henry can try something different in a few laps, and let's see if that battle continues going on.
Well, talking of the push to passes, it's only 1 left for Kraus. It is 8 left for Crane, so it's going to be difficult for him with 10 laps to go. Blocker has already set sail 7.5 seconds down the road. Will be difficult for Kraus to try and get something done on Crane.
Yeah, pretty sure it will. But it seems that he has a good pace. Not sure if it will be enough to overtake Crane, but let's see what Kraus can do by the end of the race. Really interesting moment right now.
Always love these type of races where they're slow burners at time, but they intensify as you come to the end and things really heat up. This IR18 has seen such wonderful competition this summer. Only 2 more rounds of the ISOWC. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll head to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, as Valtteri Alander looks to try and bounce back from 2 very disappointing rounds from the Flying Finn. He dominated the first 2 races. Oh, so impressive in only his 3rd ever open wheel oval start. Could have had a 2nd place finish coming to the line from Fontana. Instead, dropped to 15th with contact with Christian Steele. Very fascinated to see if he gets himself back on track heading into the end of July and the ISOWC 500. Things don't end there, Wilson. Let's talk about Speedway Indiana. You are one of the quickest qualifiers I think anyone has ever seen there. The Open Wheels 500. It is such a great event that we get to cover here on RaceSpotTV. The 3rd annual Open Wheels 500-mile race is back this November. Cannot wait to get back to Speedway Indiana.
Yeah, exactly, Arjuna. It's so much fun to do the Open Wheels 500, especially due to the qualifying format. You really feel the pressure. Man, it's challenging. Our hands start shaking when we are about to go to the track. But yeah, it's such a unique experience, and yeah, it's probably one of the funniest months of the year. Open Wheels is really a thing different for me in iRacing. And I hope to have a better luck this time and not starting second. Maybe I can fight for the pole again, once again and starting a pole, because the 2nd place used to be my place to start. But yeah, I'll try to do the pole position this year, and let's hopefully see if things can go different for us this year. Let's see.
There'll be no bias, that's for sure, in the commentary booth, except if I'm the one commentating, because, like you said, 2 consecutive 2nd place qualifying results for you. Like I said, you really are one of the quickest qualifiers at the Brickyard. Maybe things go your way. The wonderful event organized by Tanner Watkins and his crew at the openwheels.com website. Cannot wait for all the festivities, expanded coverage, more details to come soon. Bennett has slid off the back of this train for 2nd and 3rd. It's now left all the pressure on Phil Kraus, 6/10 behind Adam Crane. 8 laps to go. In effect, that really only means 7 more opportunities down into either turn number 2 or turn number 4 to get things done.
Yeah, probably what Kraus is thinking right now is just keep pushing, to keep Crane on his limit, and maybe Crane can do some small mistakes so Kraus can get ahead of him. But if we stop to see how things are working for Kraus right now, I don't think he will have really a good chance to overtake Crane, but he's just doing his job, trying to push hard and maybe get a mistake from Crane.
Teammates side by side. Ike throws it up the inside as they round this left-hander. Woodith, can he hold on as we enter the S's? They are still side by side. It is Team Talent squabbling for 9th and 10th position. Woodith holds on, but some wonderful action, respectful racing between the teammates as well.
Yeah, and that part of the track is doable to do side by side. It's not the easiest thing. Sometimes you can overdrive a little bit and ending up losing the rear end of your car. But yeah, very nice battle to see, and how they were able to manage and to control the car.
Oh, Woodith slightly loose. Does that open the door to Ike coming through turn number 1? They are side by side across the start-finish line. And it is Andreas Ike who is back up into 9th position, where he did qualify. Left side, let's talk about the movers and shakers, because really, as the Team Talent teammates of Espity and Quinn are on the button as well, it's been Woodith that is the most impressive car in terms of working his way up through the field. No mistakes, now into the top 10.
Yeah, 9 spots for him. Very impressive job, and doing a pretty consistent race, which this is all about this race here at this track. Being consistent, hit your marks, and keep doing good lap times. And if you manage to do that by the end of the race, pretty sure you'll get a few spots. And because it's not everyone who cannot afford and cannot do entire race without any major mistake.
After this, we'll head to the Iowa Speedway, so short track racing after super speedway racing 7 days ago. Michigan very much the site of dramatic finishes in not just this season of this iRacing Open Championship, but across the years that we visited the Michigan International Speedway. Iowa is always such an interesting place to go, especially now that we have the single plane downforce configuration. We used to rocket around that track with so much downforce. It is now much more in the driver's hands, Wilson, to hang on to their cars.
Yeah, definitely will be an extra challenge for the drivers. I don't consider myself a good driver in short ovals, to be honest, Arjuna. I have very small experience in short ovals, especially Iowa, which I don't remember to do any race in the past in that track. But it is a very good racing, in fact, and I'm pretty sure we had the opportunity to see strategies and also the driver skills playing around for next week.
So here we go. It is 5 to go. Some lap traffic, I think, has closed the gap. Kraus a bit twitchy under the brakes. Here we go. Push to pass, push to defend. I think that's what Adam Crane is thinking. Right on cue. He gets onto the button, trying to defend from the car behind. Kraus, of course, only one more usage to go. And when you're thinking about how to use that, if I'm the driver, I'm waiting until the last lap here, Wilson, because like I said, it's push to defend as well. You don't want to be left hanging with nothing to aid you.
Yeah, I would do the same as well, Arjuna, because it would be pretty straightforward for him to defend his position using his push to pass left. I mean, right now he push to defend, but yeah, I think he will try to get as much as he can by the end of the race, and just to secure his second position, and doing both of the drivers right now doing a very good job, great job, and good action on track.
Oh, Chris Wilhite. That's a mistake from Ohio's own. I tell you what, let's quickly try and take a look at what happened here. Always a strong competitor on the ovals. A couple of seasons ago was competing for third. Locks that right front up. He'll be lucky to get out of that one without any sort of significant damage and roll it around to complete this race. Back to live pictures as I see Adam Blocker has been slowly working his way through the push to passes. He's down to just 3 left to go. Adam Crane back onto the button. He's been waiting for these final 4 laps to just use the button to try and just keep himself clear heading into turn 4. He's probably seen the passes from Phil Kraus down in towards that braking zone of turn number 4. He doesn't want to open the door at all here, Wilson. Yeah,
and it is the longest straight on track, so pretty much straightforward to use the push to pass to keep his position, and of course pretty sure he was able to see from his rear view mirrors where the Kraus was doing his move in that brake zone. So he's doing a great defensive job right here, and almost by the end of the race, pretty fun.
Is there going to be more lap traffic that gets drug into the mix here? Because you can see on the track map they have Jacob Oster in the 16 just down the road. Adam Blocker well and truly in a traffic sandwich, because you can see 4 cars working their way into turn 1. Ooh, Andrew Wood off the road. He spun it around as well. That will halt his charge. Can he hold on to a top 10 finish? No, there goes Maxwell Brown. I think Andrew Marquez is a bit too far back to try and take advantage. It's that same corner that Wilhite had a mistake though, Wilson.
Yeah, and for the second time in a row, we've seen both Woods and Wilhite doing very, very low, small mistakes, but yeah, that can cost you a lot of time, even if you don't crash, which what happened to Kraus and to Wood and the Wilhite. They just lose a lot of time, and yeah, unfortunately for him, but either way, I think we'll be able to bring his car home.
11th, not that bad when he started down in 20th position, but I'm sure he was very much enjoying the battle with his teammate. It is 3 to go, as Adam Blocker is coming through the final corner to make it 2 to go here from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, unless I'm getting my numbers mixed up. No, there goes the timing tower, down to just 2 laps and 5 miles to go. If you ask me now, Wilson, Phil Kraus a bit too far behind. He needs that traffic to play a factor here.
Yeah, probably Arjuna. Traffic can be a factor here, even if maybe if Crane does not get a good move, or even if he's not get lucky to get a good place to overtake the lap traffic. So Kraus can get benefit for that and try some different move. And yeah, I think with 3 to go, we still had a lot of inaction here.
You know what? Jacob Oster is about to get swarmed by these cars battling for second in through one of the most tricky portions of the track. You can see the total downforce racing car not that far in front of Adam Crane coming through Thunder Valley. It is 7/10 between Crane and Kraus. A perfect place though for Oster, just pull to the side. He will not impact the battle for second position. Here though, it's been a dominant drive from Blocker, has not relinquished the lead so far. White flag in the air, one more lap to go. One more opportunity for Phil Kraus to get past Adam Crane.
Yeah, and here comes Phil. Let's see if how he can manage to get the gap before in the last lap, but not be the easiest test for him, neither for Henry, but still a lot to go.
And if anything, Crane can afford to use the button a couple of times if needed. Here we go, drag race into turn 4. Kraus does not get on the button. I wonder if either he's just conceded or potentially there's some fuel considerations for the car. Oh, no, in fact, my timing screen is updated. It now says 0 left, so at some point I missed Phil Kraus taking his final push to pass. Just 3/10 behind is Henry Bennett. It is too little, too late. Should end up in this order, barring any unforeseen mistakes. Here, though, comes Adam Blocker. He's got traffic in front of him, but it has been a very easy day, to say the very least. From pole to victory, and it was as easy as that sounds. Fastest lap, a 1:07.024, 2/10 clear of the entire field after 46 laps. He takes a second victory in Mid-Ohio, and in as many days, his championship hopes will continue. But Adam Crane, with a great drive to second place, Wilson, is keeping this championship interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting for sure, Arjuna, and I'm pretty sure that you'll keep that interesting by the end of the season. A lot of action to come yet. And yeah, good race by Blocker, by Crane as well. And good to see Kraus. He didn't manage to get a good qualifying lap, starting on P7. But yeah, he was able to get some spots and get the final result of the podium. So pretty interesting race to see, Arjuna. That's the beauty of the pedal to the metal race, you know. People can push hard all the time, and sometimes you can see a mistake here and there, but yeah, that's the beauty of race, when you can keep pushing hard and not be concerned with fuel saving or something different. So yeah, pretty interesting race we saw today. I hope everybody who was watching with us here had the same fun as well and really enjoyed the race.
Still some battles that were coming to the line. Espity in front of his teammate Liam Quinn by only 3/10. Andrew Marquez 2/10 clear of Richard Craig, almost trying to pip him at the line. Van der Sant crosses. We now have 20 Indy cars across the line. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. For Powerslide Motorsports, it's Adam Blocker victorious once more on a Monday night. 5.6 seconds clear from the championship leader, Adam Crane. Phil Kraus, back from his holiday, completes the podium. He'll be delighted for team talent. 4 positions gained on the day. Henry Bennett, a conservative race. He finishes in 4th, but Graham Saunders, with that late race mistake, slips to 17 seconds back, but a top 5 finish continues his good form in this Dallara IR18. Isaac Morris, what a qualifying performance for him. One small mistake drops him to 6th on the grid. He'll be hoping for more the next time we go road course racing. Team talent, 7th, 8th, and 9th with Austin Espity, Liam Quinn, and Andreas Like in the top 10. Maxwell Brown, another car with a very impressive qualifying performance, rounds out the top 10. See what the UK and Ireland driver can do next time from the Iowa Speedway. Andrew Wood from the tail end of the field to 11th, with Andrew Marquez, Richard Craig, the last cars on the leading lap. Jacob Oster, Chris Wilhite, and Alexander Van der Sant, they finished 1 lap down, with Nagisa Yoshikawa having a late race incident, dropping him to 17th and 2 laps down. 3 cars are not making it to the end. Charles-Eric Lemelin, John Bodefer, and Rob Nglennick's fastest lap on the day does go to Adam Blocker with a 1:07.024. And I tell you what, let's make it a Powerslide Motorsports party here in the RaceSpotTV commentary booth. as we bring in our teammate Adam Blocker. Adam, that looked like a relatively easy day for you. You once more used the push-to-passes in the closing stages of the race to set the fastest lap. Just tell us how confident you felt after taking victory last night in the Indy Elite Series.
Yeah, I mean, I knew today was going to be a little bit different because it wasn't a fuel save race. It was just push hard all the way. But yeah, thankfully the power slide setup was really hooked up. That's probably the best car I've driven at Mid-Ohio. Yeah, maybe I was just not quite confident at the beginning of the race, not sure. Or maybe our setup was just worse over the short run. But Crane kind of stuck with me for a while. But I just kind of did head down, hit my marks, be smooth, and eventually he made a mistake or two, and I was able to pull a gap, and I think maybe our setup was better in the long run, because from then it was just, smooth sailing until I hit traffic, really.
Well, you'll be heading to Lexington, Ohio for the race this weekend. Talk to us about just how fun this track is, because we described it as a roller coaster of a track when we started this broadcast, and a couple of cars falling afoul of some of the elevation changes around this 2.2 mile track.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really tough, like the left-hander after the back straight at China Beach, and then also Thunder Valley, where you basically go over crests right as you're trying to put down the power, are really tricky, and it's kind of difficult to have confidence through there, especially if you have a wiggle on one lap. So yeah, there's definitely quite a few places where you can get caught out. It reminds me a lot of Barber. It's a little bit slower version of Barber. It's a roller coaster. So yeah, it's a really fun track, one of the most technical tracks that IndyCar goes to, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, your championship hopes getting back on track after a last lap crash just 7 days ago. Will you be in action from Iowa Speedway, and what are you expecting from the short track, the first of the season?
I'll be missing the Monday race at Iowa, but yeah, Iowa's normally a really fun race. Should be good racing. It's one of the best short ovals that IndyCar goes to in real life and on the sim. So yeah, should be a really good race to watch, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, congratulations on victory here today, Adam. We won't see you then in 7 days' time. We'll look forward to you in action. Hear more on RaceSpotTV. So that was Adam Blocker. Let's bring in the second place finisher of Adam Crane. Adam, interesting race there. You were able to get on past Henry Bennett in the first lap of the race. Unable, though, to really hold on with Adam Blocker over the long run. Talk to us about that second place finish.
Yeah, it was a great second place for the VRS Satellite Racing car. Adam just had amazing consistency, so I don't think there was any reality where any of us in the field could catch him. But the battle for P2 after Blocker had sort of yarded us a little bit was pretty interesting there. Once Phil got around Henry, then it was just a matter of trying to keep the tires under me and make sure that I could conserve the resources on the car to bring home the P2.
Leading this championship, what are your hopes? Because it's been a championship that Powerslide has kind of dominated over the past 3 or 4 years. It was great to have Brandon Trano breaking the stranglehold. Will you be around for the full season to contend on a Monday night?
Yeah, that's the plan right now. Last year, I started getting more committed to running the open races for the championship, but I missed the first couple big oval races, which had high championship points. But definitely looking to lay my stamp on the championship moving forward in this year. Going to definitely try for sure.
And I asked Adam this about Iowa. Iowa now with the lower downforce configuration, a very different sort of a race from the ones that we've had in the past here, especially live on RaceSpotTV. How confident are you feeling as we head to the first short track race of the season?
Pretty confident. Iowa's a track that I tend to drive pretty well at. I'm pretty comfortable there. Lots of opportunity for moving around and trying some different lines, especially with the effect that Aero has become on this car. So definitely looking forward to running at Iowa, though I haven't actually done any setup work, so that'll be sometime here within the next few days. We'll get started on that.
Congratulations on second, Adam. Looking forward to this championship fight live on a Monday night.
Me too. Thanks a lot, you guys.
There was the VRS Satellite Racing driver of Adam Crane. Let's work our way over to Phil Kraus, back from his holiday, finishing on the podium. Phil, how was that race for you? I'm sure you didn't have much practice, but it looked like you had a very quick car.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun out there. Done a single quali lap prior to the Q session itself, so that was pretty messy. I kind of just ended up loading up a setup and seeing if it would stick. It didn't stick on lap 2, so started a bit further back than I'd like, but I had a lot of fun battling my way through, and honestly, yeah, that was really fun. I just destroyed my tires a bit too much in my final stint to get Crane at the end, but really fun.
So how was your holiday? Because it seems like it refreshed you quite nicely, because after that qualifying disappointment, you were ready to fight and ready to work your way through the field.
Oh yeah, it was, if you ignore the rain, it was a good holiday, because Florida pretty much every day except one it was raining, but on the way back we went up to Chattanooga, Tennessee, saw some really pretty sights, and had a lot of fun on the way back for sure. Just wish there would have been a little bit less rain when I was in Florida itself, you know?
Well, it's always great, at least, that now we can start to go out a little bit more as things start to wind down, at least in the US, with restrictions. What is it looking like for the rest of the summer for you, Phil? Of course, 2 more rounds of the ISOWC. I know you'll be focused on that and trying to get whatever championship points you can at Road America and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But on a Monday night, can we expect to see you somewhat regularly fighting for this championship?
Oh yeah, as you mentioned, the ISOWC, 2 rounds of that. Really looking forward to Road America. We were really strong there in Elite and Open, and we can carry that over. Obviously, the ISOWC field's a bit stronger, but I'm hoping to run the full season now that I've come back from my vacation. Obviously, I had to miss Michigan, which it looked like a fun race, so it's a bit of a shame that I ended up missing that, but priorities. But yeah, I'm hoping to run the whole season. We'll just have to see if everything pans out.
Well, priorities, I mean, I'm very envious that you at least got to go out somewhere and get some much needed, I'm sure, fresh air under your belt. Congratulations on 3rd. We'll see you then, hopefully, in 7 days' time from the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
So that is Phil Kraus rounding out our podium interviews. Wilson, before we wrap up, let's take a look at this series schedule. 3 rounds done, still a long way to go. Iowa, Hockenheim, and Charlotte, the next 3 tracks up before we head to Phillip Island. What an interesting schedule that is. Iowa, the first short track. The first time we'll see the Indy cars at Hockenheim. Then we head to the 1.5 miler of Charlotte before we head to the land down under and Phillip Island.
Indeed, Arjuna. Yeah, really looking forward to see those races, especially Hockenheim. Really looking forward to see that race. A lot of expectation around that track, and also maybe to see some new drivers or even some ISOWC drivers joining Hockenheim race to see how that will go for them. But yeah, it's pretty long season ahead of us with a lot of action. Really good to see Blocker and Crane fighting for those points, and I'm pretty sure that we will still have a long way to go, and we will be able to see good races and especially have fun here in the commentary booth, Arjuna.
3 races done, 9 to go in a championship that has so many twists and turns still left to play out live on RaceSpotTV. Before we say goodbye, let's say thank you to some of our partners here on RaceSpot. First up, TV cameras designed by Istvan Ballo and TrackCams22.com, with additional car cameras provided by RaceSpot's own Tyler Maxson. Live timing powered by our friends at ATVO, who also power our 2021 graphics package. Huge shout out to Kevin Niatola, Simon Grossman, and Nick Thyssen for all the work that they've done, not just to get our graphics up on screen, but all the hard work since the start of this year to get some new features onto our graphics, including the push-to-pass. Live on a Monday night, the iRacing IndyCar series will roll on for 9 more races. You can catch it all live on RaceSpotTV and so much more sim racing action. Hit the red button and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can hit the bell to get notified every single time we go live, not just with IndyCar competition, but with oh so much more. My name is Arjuna Kenkipati. On behalf of the entire RaceSpotTV team, my co-commentator Wilson Nadeau, we'll see you in 7 days' time as we go short track racing here live on a Monday night. We are Green Flag Racing in round 3 of the ISOWC. And we're going to have another caution, surely. Everyone is down this time around, Lewis. We are back on the same strategy. 5 cars with a chance of victory.
Here we go, Valtteri Landon's going to look to the inside. We're going to go 3 wide.
Chins up into the wall, or it's a drag race to the line, or is it...
I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I am no regular.